Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So the fallout from the Alec Baldwin saga on the set of his latest movie Rust, where he shot and killed the cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and injured the director Joel Souza. Now it's come to light that the negligence that has occurred for this incident to happen is astounding. So it's starting from Alec Baldwin himself, the assistant director Dave Halls, who handed him the gun, and the armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who is responsible for checking and maintaining and making sure that all weapons are safe on the set. Now, these three people are gonna definitely have legal issues when it comes to negligence, and in my last video, I showed you a deep dive on two of those people, Dave Halls and Hannah Reed. This is the kind of person Hannah is if you didn't see it before. This is a clip from my last video to show you the kind of person Hannah is.
I don't do anything unless I'm the best at it, really.
She doesn't do anything unless she's the best at it. Okay, well clearly you are not. And the next clip is from the same podcast where she was talking about having little girls on set and teaching them about guns.
There's no bad experience, it's just
learning from experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and I do like working with the little girls and everything on set, and I like teaching them about guns.
And this directly relates to the story we're going to be looking at now. So this is on the Daily Beast, and it says, inexperienced armorer on Baldwin's set raised alarm bells on prior film, which was talking about the Nicolas Cage film, The Old Way, which she said it went pretty smoothly. I almost didn't take the job because I wasn't sure if I was ready, but doing it went really smoothly. But according to this Daily Beast report, it says inexperienced armorer on Baldwin's set raised alarm bells on prior film. That's the Nick Cage film, The Old Way. Now, what happened? So there were previous concerns raised about the 24-year-old armorer who was hired on Alec Baldwin's film Rust, with two production sources telling the Daily Beast that filming on the set of her last movie was briefly stopped after she allegedly gave a gun to an 11-year-old actress without checking it properly. She was a bit careless with the guns, waving it around every now and again, said a source who worked alongside armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed on the upcoming Nicolas Cage film, The Old Way. They go on to say, there were a couple of times she was loading the blanks and doing it in a fashion that we thought was unsafe. So the next bit goes on about Rust and what happened on Rust, what I've already covered. So the allegations from Rust crew members appear to mirror allegations from two production sources who worked with Gutierrez Reed on The Old Way, where she was hired as head armorer. In a statement to the New York Times, the company said it had not been made aware of any official complaints concerning weapon or prop safety on set, which is what I said in my last video, noting it would be conducting an internal review. A relative newcomer to being an armorer, Gutierrez Reed was trained by her father, the Hollywood veteran firearms consultant Thel Reed. The Old Way was the first time Gutierrez Reed had worked as head armorer, admitting on Voices of the West podcast, which I showed some clips from in my last video, that she nearly didn't take the position because she wasn't sure she was ready, and she thought loading blank rounds into firearms was, quote, the scariest thing. But doing it went really smoothly. So she says it went really well, really smoothly. But this goes on to say, however, that is not how production sources from The Old Way described their experience working with Gutierrez Reed. There were several concerns I brought to production's attention, one said. Then they say, I have been around firearms my entire life and noticed some things that were not okay even with loaded blank firearms. Another source said, compared to other sets they had been on, there was considerably less attention to gun safety under Gutierrez Reed's watch. So it sounds like, from the clips I showed you, she is so full of herself, she is so high up about herself, she thinks she's untouchable. And she literally said,
yeah, I'm very competitive, and I hope to grow to the point where I'm pretty much just an untouchable person that has all the knowledge of everything.
It seems like she's been pretty careless on her previous set and this set, which caused the death of the cinematographer of Rust. Now they said, the most troubling incident occurred when Gutierrez Reed allegedly loaded a gun on the ground where the area was filled with pebbles, then without properly checking the weapon, handed it to child actress Ryan Kira Armstrong, both sources told the Daily Beast, so both sources. Concerned crew members intervened, demanding filming be stopped until Gutierrez Reed had properly checked the firearm. The two sources said, Ryan Kira Armstrong's Instagram with the gun there. So it says she was reloading the gun on the ground where there were pebbles and stuff. We didn't see her check it. We didn't know if something got in the barrel or not, one source said, explaining the crew waited until she double-checked the gun for barrel obstruction. Detectives are still investigating the circumstances that led to the tragic incident on Rust. However, in the days leading up to it, there was trouble brewing on the set of Rust. There were multiple complaints made to production, with at least 6 fed-up crew members reportedly walking off set hours before Baldwin was handed the prop gun. The production source said crew members had complained directly to Halls about the previous accidental gun discharges over the weekend, which was with the stunt double, demanding to make sure they were documented. Quote, all of us yelled at him, that better be on the production report. These guys are irresponsible and shouldn't be here. That should be automatic grounds for termination on a union film set. you should be gone. The first time that gun went off without telling anybody, that whole department should have been replaced immediately. Clearly, production thought better of it, decided to roll the dice and paid the ultimate price. And they said sources maintain that the film's production company would do anything to save money. For example, they promised to put the crew up in a hotel in Santa Fe to be close to set. However, when filming began, the crew were allegedly told there would be no such accommodation, and instead they would have to travel to and from Albuquerque, around 50 miles away. So they had these long hours, 13-hour days, and you got to drive 50 miles away to where you're staying. So people are going to have a lot of lack of sleep, very tired on the set, exhausted. And then you've got someone who's allegedly careless on a number of sets now, handling weapons and firearms. And Alec Baldwin, who's the producer of this movie Rust, thought it was a good idea to bring on Hannah as lead armorer. And so they also tailored the filming schedule to Alec Baldwin's podcast, Here's the Thing with Alec Baldwin, which airs on Mondays. So it's all about Alec Baldwin. And then lastly, while Gutierrez Reed has not yet commented on the tragedy, prop gun experts told the Daily Beast the armorer is usually ultimately responsible for the weapons on set. And yes, while she has not commented on the tragedy, she has deleted her Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok accounts. So all those social media accounts are now gone. And this is not looking good for Hannah and for Alec Baldwin as well, who was the producer and should have taken more care. But obviously they were cutting corners to save cost. And yeah, unfortunately, it cost the cinematographer Halyna Hutchins her life. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below in regards to this whole situation, this shooting on the set, why Hannah Gutierrez Reed was even allowed to be a lead armorer on a set, being allegedly that careless on another set. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this one out, and I'll see you in the next one.